the high plains of the Midwest, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever your time zone might be. My nod to the late and great Art Bell. I'm Keith Sharp.
And I'm G. Dressel.
And we welcome you to Life After Life, a paranormal webcast where we talk about the paranormal, UFOs, or the unexplained. And the biggest question of them all, what happens when we die? Stay tuned. Garrett, what are you doing?
I was just looking at some real fast. Right.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, did we talk about our big news that happened, or was that before the show, Pam?
Somebody asked about it.
No, in the chat room, we were just kind of discussing.
Okay, yeah. So we finally got the death certificate of the owner of the house, and we are closing tomorrow. So it's been a crazy, crazy week for us. And I'm going to shut my phone off. Hush, quit, stop doing that.
That's cool, though.
I know. I got the UFO thing. It's still going to probably do it. But anyway, so we are closing tomorrow, and we've been boxing stuff up, getting ready, and we will have a new studio. Hopefully we'll have internet, everything ready for next week so we go without no show. Garrett won't let me cancel.
We'll sort it out.
Yeah. I've tried to cancel shows before, and Garrett won't let me do it.
I won't.
It's like my dad passed away. The show's got to go on. But I got a funeral today. Well, no, we got to do a show.
What time?
What time's the funeral? Can't you get done? So let's see how Garrett is. But hey, we are. I haven't ate.
We love our Garrett.
Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
If for any of you guys want pizza, there's some in the kitchen. Help yourself.
What'd you guys do? Domino's or Mazio's?
Mazio's, man.
Yeah, the best.
I don't like. I've never liked Domino's.
Well, you say Mazio's or Mazio's?
I say Mazio's.
You do, yeah. Okay, I remember that. I'm definitely a Mazio's guy.
Mazio, tomato.
Forget about it.
Forget about it, huh?
Potato. Hey, what about Mafia versus Cartel episode? Who wins?
That's a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
What do you think, though? I mean, just placing your bets right now.
Mafia.
Interesting.
You mean? Well, what do you mean in perspective of what?
Like, you know how mob used to go to war with each other.
Yeah, but there hadn't been a family war since the 40s or 50s. They kill amongst themselves, but the family, like the 5 families out in New York, they had one war, but there hasn't been a war since then.
True, the cartels kind of just are all going after each other all the time.
But you know what the mafia guys say about like the gangs today and everything?
They have no respect.
There's no, yeah, absolutely. They said, if they'll do the sloppy drive-bys, they'll shoot a kid on accident, and that would have never happened.
See, that's where I was alluding to, though.
Yeah, me and Pam was talking about this the other day, but yeah, in the mafia, if you're sitting on a hit and you accidentally kill a lady or a civilian or a child, you'd probably be dead within 2 days.
Yep, it's family.
Yeah, it's family and it's respect.
Yeah, it's family, it's respect.
It's funny because we were talking about that. And what did Taylor say? Oh, that's nice of him.
No, she said, "Oh, that's courteous."
Yeah, of course she did.
Well, that's courteous of them.
Hey, well, it is. I mean,
but I bet she actually rolled her eyes as she said it like this, like, "That's courteous of them."
She did. She did. So anyway, yeah, we're excited. We're going to be moving. I got to give Garrett a big round of applause.
No bet.
And I always hit the wrong button.
Why? What happened?
I'm going to change those buttons. Garrett's been holding the torch for probably about the last 2 weeks. And he probably will be for the next 2 weeks because we're going to get settled in and everything. But he's been doing all the research. That's probably why the shows have been boring the last few days, last few times.
You mean fascinating?
Fascinating, yeah. Is that what you call that?
For me.
Yeah. So
I always say I don't care about anybody else.
So let's say some shout outs real quick. Randy, how are you doing? My buddy from high school.
Randy?
Jennifer Swope, great to see you here. Garrett, as always.
Yes.
And I about read Jennifer Swope. Hello. Kay's Creations, good to see you back. Doug, Uncle Doug's, or Aunt Doug as we call him. Aunt Doug, yes. How are you? Jaggy C, my cousin from Arkansas.
Up?
Now, Jaggy, I can't believe you haven't seen any Bigfoots and you live in Arkansas.
No, she has. She's one of my sources that I used.
There's Mona.
Oh, Mona.
What's up, Mona?
Hey, Mona.
So it turns out Mona's actually from Australia.
Yeah.
By the way.
And just for fun, I'm going to make Mona Let's see. I'm gonna make Mona a moderator today. There you go, Mona. You got the now you've got the tools to rule the world here.
Oh my gosh, the life after life world.
That's right. Yeah,
You deserve it.
So Mona, you're a moderator now. So if anybody gets
She
snappy,
comments.
yeah,
I love that.
Hey, there's Boss Scott Slamp. I should make him a moderator too.
Well, don't just go start handing them out.
You know, there's one guy. There's one guy on YouTube just for the fun of it. He made every single person in chat a moderator.
Oh God, what does that even mean though? Like
that means they can actually block anybody they want.
Cool.
They can cancel anybody. They can, yeah. So
Time out everyone.
yeah.
Time out.
The funny thing is, I'm not seeing. I did that with Mona, and I'm not seeing the little wrench by her name.
No.
Let me try to. It says
She declined it. She's like, no, I'm good.
no. It says no. The option is remove moderation. So yeah, you're somehow you're a moderator.
Awesome.
Anyway, maybe it'll pop up in a minute. Okay, so yeah, you better ask your
wife first.
Yeah, I know, right?
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all know Pam all.
Hey, look, Mona's got a wrench by her name now.
That's my work husband. He knows.
Yeah. So I'm glad you got to put up with 50% of the crap I got to put up with, Scott. Bless your heart. She's a smartass, isn't she, Scott?
Hey, at least she doesn't work from home.
Happy birthday, boss.
Yeah. Okay, so we're doing Bigfoot, and this, like I said, this is all Garrett.
No, we're doing a show on Bigfoot.
We're doing a show.
We're not doing Bigfoot.
Garrett said he looks like Bigfoot.
I walk like Bigfoot.
He walks like him.
Well, they've never really seen me walk, but like me and my brother, yeah, we've been told that multiple times. It's like it's painful, but we're on a mission. You know, like we're like moving somewhere, but it's like lumbering.
It hurts to walk.
Yeah. So I mean, you know how I am on Bigfoot though, Keith.
What? Yeah.
You're reading over there.
I am reading. I used to
read
have
real
that
fast. Yeah, get this
photo
through.
no, my cousin was just saying she used to have that photo of a Bigfoot print. You know, all the times I was in Arkansas. Well, my brother claimed when he was on my Uncle Tommy's land that he thought he saw Bigfoot. Something had red hair, saw it through the trees, and
it had red hair?
Yeah. Well, most of them were like
reddish, right?
Brown reddish hair.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm colorblind with red, so it probably just looks brown to me.
All right, Jennifer, I'm gonna make you a moderator just for the hell of it. So now we got another one.
Was that Swope?
Yeah.
Hey, Swope.
Swope, you're a moderator now.
Swope. Woo! Swope's committed, man.
She is.
Love that, dude.
And Mona, I like to see people coming back. Terry, hello, how are you?
Oh, what's up,
I miss
Terry?
Tona. Of course, let's see. Samantha Covington, hello. There's some new people in here.
Hi, Samantha.
I thought our channel just sucked and that was it.
No, dude, why do you always say that? You know what I say about our. What do I say about our channel?
It's because no, I know we'll grow, but I mean, it's just I get impatient.
But what do I say about our channel?
It's only been 3 months. We only got 900 people.
But what do I say about our channel?
I don't know. You say lots of things about our channel.
I'm like, dude, it's freaking awesome.
It is awesome. Amazing. It's a fun channel, and it's just my impatience. We'll grow.
I know.
We'll grow.
I love it.
We'll grow.
It's funny because we're so different. Like I'm just like, this is amazing. It's gonna work no matter what. And then you kind of.
I'm locking myself in the bathroom. I don't want to go
you're
out.
just like Cass. You and Cass are exactly. Every time she comes back from a shoot, she's like, "That was a failure." I was like, "No." And then we see the pictures. Beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Well, I mean, we've had those shows. Like we ended the show, and it's like I'm going. That's the absolute worst show we ever had.
Hey, but I will tell you what I was really surprised about with Reincarnation is that, and I told you this before the show, not as many views, but it was the most feedback I've gotten personally from people that I know that like listen to the show, and it was really interesting.
Yeah,
good feedback. I sent you, remember?
Yeah. No, and that's one of my favorite topics.
It was
because actually we could have nothing in front of us, and you and I could just sit here and talk. You know, and that's like I said that last week, man. If we got like 100 people in the chat room, and we just all talk about it and see what everybody comes up with. That's what's interesting to me, see what people think about it.
Well, that's where I'm at with Bigfoot, man. Like when we did that first show, I was like, I told you, I said, okay, first off, Bigfoot's not real, and I'm a skeptic, right? And then you told me your Bigfoot story.
Yeah, I have a Bigfoot story.
And then you showed me the Bugs interview on Art Bell.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, look up Art Bell, Bugs, Bigfoot.
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's great. It's a guy who claimed he had shot a Bigfoot.
We're gonna talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Okay, so
it's been so long since we've reviewed that.
I already listened to that episode like 5 times in preparation.
Really?
Of course.
It
was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
Because what I left that episode thinking was, you know what, Bigfoot might be real, and I've thought that since then. So this whole time, I still talk to people. I'm like, hey, do you believe in Bigfoot? And most people don't say no. A lot of them kind of laugh, but it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no proof.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, because I've got thoughts on it too. What I think is a Bigfoot. What I think it is.
Well, I mean, that's the first part of,
because it's something you said a long time ago, and I don't want to get too far ahead because
we're not. This is right on track. Keep going.
No, I'm just going to say, because we talked about, one thing you brought up was, and I've thought about it myself, is like, okay, by now we would have had a Bigfoot body. We would have had, a
captured one.
Yeah, exactly. Captured a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because if they're out there, you would think, okay, the first one I think was 1810 was the first sighting.
Okay.
That was reported, and that's been a long time.
Yeah, and you would think
for a creature that's actually reproduced and they're still out there all over the country.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is fascinating, because initially I was going to say you would think in 1810 they would be more prevalent, right? But then I was like, okay, well, most people probably weren't like journaling and writing it down, right? If they saw Bigfoot, they're out in the woods. They couldn't get a word back.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah,
so there might have been a whole lot more sightings. They just didn't have the communication back then.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, the newspaper probably would have hung them or something.
Exactly.
No, that's
Would you
witchcraft.
believe Bigfoot?
Crazy.
Well, that was my first point in this entire conversation is, how can somebody believe that Bigfoot is an actual creature? Like physically?
Well, yeah, I know. It's
how can you
you can't,
because and that's why I'm glad that you brought that up initially, because to me that we would have found, although we do find species, right, every day we're discovering new insects or plants or this and that. I think there was and I think I'll read about it here in a little bit, an animal that they had found just recently, and so, but for me, this thing, we would have found the bones by now. Because if we
absolutely.
we have a T-Rex,
well, they say they bury their own.
Well, here's the thing: you're laughing at that, but
I laugh at that.
Pam and I were talking before, and she's like, "Well, they do like have human type tendencies."
They have very human characteristics.
You use a word, humanistic, humanoid.
Yeah.
So she was like, "What if they have like a damn burial ground?"
Did you do any
Maybe there's a secret Bigfoot
burial
graveyard.
Ground. Yeah. Can you imagine finding that?
Well, they say there's a secret elephant graveyard, so maybe there's a secret Bigfoot graveyard.
Yeah, it could be.
If elephants can do it, why can't Bigfoot?
It could be. So, I mean, we can't rule it out, but.
So, Garrett, did you do, because I would have done this if it would have been me in charge, but you probably didn't do this.
Probably not.
There is a guy who took a recorder out, and he said they have a speech that they talk to each other, and they left. Remember we talked about Bigfoot would leave him gifts.
What?
He became friends with Bigfoot.
Oh yeah,
like the cats.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that I didn't find this on my research.
He became. You can laugh all you want. But it's true.
Okay, so Bigfoot,
no, he became friends with a family of Bigfoots, and they would leave him
big feet.
Yeah, big feet as the plural.
Yeah,
yeah. So they would leave him little gifts.
They would leave him gifts. Yeah. What? What kind of gifts? Beef jerky. We got some jerky.
A knitted sweater. No, but just like it might leave a piece of bark for him or something. I don't know. But he would have them, like he started bringing his recorder out, and he's got actual recordings of these Bigfoots talking to each other. But it's a weird, it's like, it's a weird, crazy language.
Okay, so.
Did you look into that?
No, I probably.
See, you guys, don't you find that would have been entertaining? If I would have been running the show, this would have been more interesting.
You know, I'm trying to solve the case, though, Keith. You know me, dude. I try to, every episode.
How can you, solve the case? Talking Bigfoots? Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm solving the case. Hey,
You can't get any better than talking Bigfoots.
no, but my thing is this: is that well, the leaving gifts is on, okay. But if you have a recorder? Oh, you didn't say camcorder. You said just a recorder.
No, he would bring his tape recorder out.
Okay, when was this?
Because it was like it wasn't that long ago. Like
so then
maybe
why the hell did he get a video of him leaving the gifts?
I don't know.
Trail cam.
Yeah.
Because it's all fake, Garrett.
Okay, see, that's why I just skated right over that story. But you know,
no, but he truly his conviction, man, he believes in it. But yeah, you're right. But we you know what we need to do. We do need to look that up at sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
And because there's recording of the talking, and it does, yeah, it does sound like. I mean, you can hear their that's how they communicate.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Because
But he's always friendly. He was the guy. Now that I think about it, maybe it was before cameras because he was the guy that was on with Bugs.
Oh, yeah.
He was the guy who
he's like the expert, like the guy that
right
is like the
right.
Okay.
Is to let you guys know
was he
about
making Bugs feel bad.
Do we need to tell them about Bugs?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. But was he? First off, this is about me and you know. Who cares about them? Hey, is he the one that tried to make Bugs feel bad?
Yes.
Okay, that guy. He is an expert.
Well,
he kind of came back and apologized a little bit. Right.
Yeah, he did. Because he wanted that body. Is why.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
all.
so let's
that's
talk
all
about Bugs.
Okay, let's talk about Bugs. Why eat my pizza?
You talk about Bugs.
Well, hang on. Here, talk about something while I eat my. I haven't ate all day, you guys.
Yeah. You better eat.
Like I said, go in my kitchen, help yourself, guys.
Well, what I was gonna say about like what's interesting about the voice recordings is that's still another thing where like that's not fact, right? Like, I mean, it might be, but
you
there's no
don't
way.
know
Exactly. We can't prove it. It's not like okay, I heard too. Like me and you can make a recording right now.
no one knows who it was.
Let's do it.
Something like that.
See, even when he's taking.
But see, back in those days, this must have been in the 70s.
I think that's Tim Taylor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tool Time.
Yep, that is
like it's probably a reel to reel, like a little reel to reel or something.
Yeah.
But I got a mouthful of food. Okay, Bugs was a guy came on Art Bell's show, late 90s.
Legend Art Bell.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
I love you, man.
And I got to play No Bad Language.
Yep.
No bad language.
So for you guys who don't know who that voice is,
Jeez, man.
yeah, if you're younger people,
Thank you, Keith, for introducing me to him.
Yeah, that's the late and great Art Bell.
I talked to him.
Yeah, you talked to him. I've talked to him.
Yeah.
Pam never talked to him.
Hey.
Then why do we have
Every once in a
recording?
while, huh?
Oh
What?
no, that's your name. Never mind.
Oh,
She had something up her sleeve, but then she.
well, there is. If I can find it, this is interesting. Let's see.
Here we go. One of our online experiments, live experiments.
Like if I said, Art, do you think we should try to do this without Pam, the show?
Couldn't do it without her, Keith, and I wouldn't even try.
How about that? He said, my name.
He did say your name.
Hear it again. So, Art, what do you think? We should get rid of Pam? I mean, we need her, right?
Couldn't do it without her, Keith, and I wouldn't even try.
So there you go. But anyways, so you guys who don't know
Is
who,
posthumously in my corner.
Yes,
that's
he
right.
is.
That's right. So anyway, yeah, he came on about spitting
Forget
pizza all
about
over
it.
my
Forget
mind.
about it. You eat your pizza pie. Forget about it.
What are you talking about? Yeah. All right. So Bugs came on his show because he claimed he sent artifacts, because that's the way you communicated back then,
Yeah.
that he had killed a Bigfoot.
A fax, right? A fax. It
A
sounded
fax.
like- okay.
For you guys, do you know what a fax is, everybody?
Yeah. Comes up through the little machine.
It's funny. I can see how many people really are in there because I've made everybody a moderator just about. So it's like, that's all I see is moderators. And hey, Patrick,
What's up, Patrick?
I saw Patrick in there somewhere. I meant
Yeah,
to say
he's
hello.
there. And we have somebody new I don't recognize, Gabriel Franco III.
What?
That's what it says.
What? Say it again.
Gabriel Franco the Third.
Well, that's Melinda's husband. Okay, so they're probably going, would you guys get on with it?
Okay, so Art Bell has.
Yeah, he had his guest on named Bugs. In 1976, Bugs allegedly went out with Bird Dog and Jim, his buddies, and they were just
Bird Dog's the buddy. I thought you said he went out with a bird dog.
No.
Bird dog and a buddy. No. Bird dog is the buddy.
Okay.
Yes.
Bird dog.
I was gonna say, is it a pointer or
They're
a retriever?
They're
No,
bobcat
and that's what
hunting.
makes the story even better.
Yeah.
So you got Jim, my buddy bird dog.
Yep. We're
You
going
know,
out bobcat hunting.
they went out bobcat hunting, and they would look for raccoons. What they were is they got fur, and they would sell the fur. And he says sometimes they could make $2,500 in a night.
If you went out
Even
before
coyote.
winter,
Yeah,
Or during-
it would turn blue.
it
or
would turn
something.
blue.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
If you waited, then it would. So he's
I
going.
wonder
out.
why that is.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
That's weird. Pam,
But-
you're a country girl. You should know that
Yeah,
stuff.
come on, you're.
Why what?
She's not even listening. See, that's why I made a bunch of moderators, because you're
Yeah.
not listening or paying attention.
No, Aunt Doug, we
Oh,
need
shit.
you on that one.
Can't do it without her.
Yep.
Can't do that. Yeah, I changed it already.
Dang it.
Aunt
Okay,
Doug, we need you. On
Aunt
that
Doug.
one.
So they're going out bobcat hunting.
Yeah, because that's how they made their living.
See, and originally I was like, why would he even include the fact that like the pellets turn blue and white? But he was telling
Because you
it's
get more money.
I know, but also he was saying it too because he was setting the stage. It was like wintertime, right?
Right.
Cold and
There's a certain date in winter that their fur would turn, it would turn blue, and then after that, like spring and later,
Right.
it would turn back to this regular
Oh,
color.
that's probably got to do with camouflage then.
It's okay.
So he's a Marine? Is that what you're saying?
No, the bobcats.
Bobcat's a Marine?
Yeah, okay. They're like chameleons. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool though.
So anyway, they go hunting and they're driving along. They see this creature out in the field, and they're like, they thought it was a bear at first.
Right.
Well, you can get a lot of money for a bear, right?
Get him.
So then they started looking a little more, and it was on its feet for a long time and kind of running. So he said,
So
"What?"
Jim looks over at Bird Dog and says,
Well, Jim commenced to shooting at him.
Jim didn't say anything. He's just like,
Yeah, he goes, Jim, and it's so funny because guys, explaining to Art Bell like, well, I used a 306 on that caliber on that thing, and it's like, Art has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But he gets into details. Well, we had that thing loaded with about 225 grain, I think.
yeah.
And Bird Dog, boom, hits him right in the chest.
Yeah. So he commences to fire.
Yeah, he commences to firing, and he hits this animal, whatever it is.
So does he fire from the truck, or do they all get out of the truck at this point?
They're all out of the truck, and
This
he
thing's
said
moving.
it was like SWAT. He said Jim jumped over the roof of the, or not the roof, but the front of the car. Started firing. He goes, and so then the funny thing is, so we all commenced to shooting.
Bird Dog said, "Well, hell, I ain't letting him get the kill."
Yeah. So all three of these guys
I'm just
are just
throwing-
firing crazy
I
at
think
what
the
they're
word-
not even sure it is.
I think the word I used was slinging lead.
Yeah.
Just slinging lead down the range.
So he says
the
he
bullets
sees
just flying everywhere.
he sees this animal fall, and
Of course.
well, yeah, they've unloaded like 30
Did you say
rounds
they
of.
had to reload?
Oh, they reloaded 3 times, I think, is what he said. So this poor animal,
God,
dude,
dude.
being a whatever it was, they were.
And they didn't. Oh, go ahead.
So
Okay.
anyway, he gets up. They see it get back up, and they commence to shooting again.
Of course.
He gets over a fence, and they see it go down. So anyway, they track the blood because I can't remember how many yards he said it was, but
150.
150 yards. You got to be a
That's-
damn good
yeah.
shot. That's a long ways.
Yeah.
So they're following the blood trail, and he said they come across this body, and then no more sooner did the wife of the Bigfoot, or the mate,
Yes.
came out of nowhere.
Oh.
And so he said, I took my 45 out and shot her square in the head.
Oh my God. It just executes Bigfoot.
Well,
wife.
they basically went something like, we heard noise, and he said, he goes, because I had the biggest caliber gun.
Right. He had
They
a
chose
44, right?
a 44 Magnum.
Yeah, Dirty Harry style.
And they said, well, you go out there.
Yeah.
Because they heard this growling, and he said, so he went between these weeds, this thing raised up at him. He said he felt for his life, and he started just unloading this 44 Magnum.
God.
He goes, I hit her, and she went down.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait,
Yeah.
did they find the other one as well?
Yeah.
Dead? Okay.
Yeah, they found the male body first, and then that's they were looking at it, and that's when they heard growling on the other side of some brush what was that called? A thuckleberry?
It was a plum thicket.
Plum thicket. That's right.
Yeah.
Can anybody please tell me what a plum thicket is?
I think it's just a thicket of plum trees.
Okay, is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah. And so smokes her.
Yes.
Boom.
So he says we get to looking at this animal and we're like, it looks like it just might be a deformed man.
Well, and I think the female had.
Yeah, they all had, like, the female had breasts, the same genitalia.
Yes.
The man had,
the same genitalia.
Yeah, same genitalia. And so they were freaked out. They thought, holy crap, did we just murder some deformed hillbillies or something? Or like from Wrong Turn, the movie.
Yeah.
Because we're going to shoot first and ask questions.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's the thing that this gentleman that was the Bigfoot expert who comedian, he was just furious. He goes, he goes, you don't know what this thing is, and you, Bird Dog and Jim, just start unloading lead.
Bird Dog and Jim.
Just start unloading your weapons on this thing. You don't even know if it's a man, a bear, and you're just killing it.
Yeah, but he felt bad.
He did feel bad, but he said, he goes, I really thought it was a bear, and you can get a lot of money for bear.
Right. Well, 150 yards away.
Yeah, that's true. But
you know what I mean? Like, no. So
but that almost makes even more of the case of maybe we shouldn't shoot. That's,
right. But I think probably in that area, because
it could have been you out there.
It could have been at 4 o'clock in the morning by Elm Creek. You know? Because it was like super rural. So you would think that they'd be driving down the street and see something that resembles a bear. They're just gonna jump out and start. But my thing was this on the last episode was like, okay, and I asked you the question. So you say we shot at this thing 200 times, okay? 200 times, and it goes down, and then it gets back up and decides to jump over a fence.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I'd probably we've talked about this.
That's what I'm saying. We would be like,
I would get in my car and leave.
Oh my God, yeah, let's call the authorities.
I would get on my scooter and go.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here.
I'm out of here.
Seriously.
I'm thinking if you shoot something over 200 times, I'm thinking there's not much of a pelt left.
Right. Well, that's true.
You know what? When they're saying unloaded, and probably those guys probably had bolt actions.
Well, this is 74, you said too. So it's not like nowadays where you have like an AR.
No, it was 70.
You know what I'm saying?
It was 76. Yeah, they had bolt action. I think I can't remember I know a little bit about guns, but not like this guy.
I know, but okay, let's say like 30 shots.
Okay, so we can say unloading. Let's say they each shot 8 times. So
let's just say if it goes down,
that's still like 24.
Let's say if you shoot something and then it goes down I guess you would though, because even if you're deer hunting, like if you got to track a deer, you hit it right, and so okay,
because you don't want it to just lope off and die in misery.
Well, because that was my first when I was trying to debunk his story. That was my first thing. Is like, I think it would be natural for people just to be like, you know what? Like, we just shot at this unknown creature that's 7 foot tall, went down and got back up, and let's go talk to somebody. But if they legitimately are 150 yards away and think it's a bear, then you might have to track it. So that's why they would.
Yeah, that's one thing that always kind of bothered me is like 150 yards. I mean, it could have been anything.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the way I measure that, I think about a football field and then another half of a football field. That's pretty far away.
Yeah, it is. Well, and I think it's to the point too, like with the guy, because the guy ended up coming back that was kind of rude to him, and like kind of calming down a little bit and saying, okay, like I understand, where's the body?
Yeah.
Because you were starting to say at the beginning, is he faxed?
Right.
Was it location to the bodies?
No, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So we'll finish this story real quick and let Garrett do his thing.
Oh, we're doing our thing. I know.
Well, yeah, that's true. Starbucks coffee.
Oh yeah, thank you for.
Actually, it's not. I used my Starbucks cup to put a Death Wish in. So,
good.
So anyway, all 3 of them are sitting there going, "There's a possibility these could be people, and we could go to prison for the rest of our lives."
Right. Yeah.
So they commenced to digging.
Yeah.
So they dig one big. What he told Art is we dug one big hole and just threw each of them on top of each other, buried it by Elm Creek.
No respect.
No.
Yeah, which me and Garrett, we tracked that down.
It is massive. It's
like in the border of Texas and
in Mexico, and it also branches out from the Rio Grande. Maybe?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Some of the big rivers that area could have been massive.
Right.
You know, the location. It would take forever.
So what this guy did is he's never, well, he's dead now, but to this day he's never told where this body was. But what he did is he sent a map to Art Bell,
right,
exactly where these 2 Bigfoot bodies are buried, and he said, Art, upon my death, I want you to go dig those bodies up. And Art was like,
Yeah, I'm good.
Art was like, I don't want him. He was like, he goes,
because what if they are humans?
He's like, Bugs, I really wish you wouldn't have sent that to me.
yeah.
Because and you and I talked about that. Because what if he did kill 2 humans and Art Bell's out there digging up some?
Right, yeah.
Then he's an accessory, right?
Right.
Or he could be accessory for having this map for so long, and these are actually bodies.
Yeah, but like, dude, if we received that email, we'd be on it. That shows how like awesome Art Bell was. Because we talked a lot about him in that episode.
Yeah,
I think it's important to remind people, because in that episode I asked you, like, do you think he's the pioneer of podcasting? And because he was so professional, dude.
He's the pioneer of paranormal late night radio. I mean, he was the first one.
He's the man, dude.
Yeah, in my opinion, he was the godfather of that. So forget about it.
Forget about it.
And nobody else any better.
So, I mean, I guess the point is, we haven't found the Bigfoot burial ground. Okay, we haven't found the bones. There's no Bigfoots at the Smithsonian.
Well, and then the problem we have is Art Bell dies.
Right.
So, and he died in 2017.
And who inherits his files?
Well, his wife would have got that, but there was some guy. He goes by Cryptoid.
Okay.
On YouTube that claims he has access to this map.
No way.
He's been talking about going out there, but again, this has been like a year and a half ago. I've heard.
Well, we talked about some. We also talked about like some of the difficulties in maybe doing that. Yeah. Like it might be on somebody's land.
It's on private land.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, and those people that own it are gonna be like, I don't want you digging for Bigfoot on my land.
Yeah. Or he could be an opportunist and go, hey, I could be the guy who has the real evidence of a Bigfoot. But that guy, man, I wish I could remember his name.
It seems like that, because, I mean, the FBI had a file open on Bigfoot. Did you know that?
I know. And, yeah, that's interesting because they were supposed to analyze some hair.
Right.
Did they ever get the DNA results back?
They said it was from the family of a deer. They released it, I think, in 2019. So recently, they actually did.
And you always hear about people saying, we found, Bigfoot hair.
Right.
And it gets analyzed, and it's either... But I think they did have one that was an unknown origin, but for most part, it's like, oh, this is a bear.
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we don't have any definitive proof. But anyway, so Art Bell, Bugs buried these bodies, gave the map to Art. Art really never brought it up after... He had him on the show. He had him on the show twice.
Right.
Once by himself, and then once with the
other guy,
Bigfoot expert who talked to the Bigfoots.
Right. Got presents. Exchanged presents.
And got presents.
Yeah. What else was he getting?
Yeah. So to this day, I mean, and there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, me and Garrett was like, we're going to find that map and we're going to go out there.
I would love to find that map. Cryptoid, come on, bro. Let's team up. Like seriously.
Well, there's a lot of problems, first of all. First of all, we got to know Bugs could be full of crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely full of crap. Just made the story up. We don't know. He seemed very sincere, but, good liars are good liars.
Right.
Nobody, I would think somebody would have followed up on that map.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, Finding Bigfoot was on for 11 seasons. That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
Okay, so earlier I was telling you I saw a study that said 11% of people believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah,
right?
That's pretty low.
That was out of a pool of 3,500 people.
Really?
Which would essentially mean, I did the math earlier, that 385 of those 3,500 people believed in Bigfoot. So you can imagine being like in a really,
I would think it'd be a little bit higher.
Okay, check this out though. Let's look at the numbers. So you think that because I'm guessing there's probably 55,000. There's probably more than that in Mustang, right?
Yep.
11% of that is 6,050 in Mustang. So imagine if we brought all 6,050 people together, all the believers in Bigfoot, right? And we were like, hey, you want to pitch in $5?
Can you have a nice little convention?
You can have a Bigfoot convention. I mean,
there's Bigfoot conventions everywhere.
Okay, well, my point though is that like if you had, it seems like somebody would have gotten the map by now. Like that's what I'm saying. Finding Bigfoot was on for 11 seasons, dude.
I know, but if Art's because this guy said
if it's out there,
yeah. Bug said only 2 people in the world have that map, and that's his wife and Art. And I don't know if his wife's still alive. I
doubt it.
Bugs passed away before Art did.
Okay.
And then Art passed away just a few years ago.
Rest in peace.
So yeah, so it's like, man, you would think someone would have went to his wife and said, "Hey, how about
10 grand?"
Yeah,
there has to be somebody that believes in Bigfoot that's like super rich,
right?
You know, I mean, like,
and I bet you could probably get cooperation from the landowner. I mean, if you said, this is a spot, you know, just
Bugs said it.
Yeah,
Bugs and Bird Dog, they're out there.
Yeah, I think Bugs. I don't know how. Can't remember. Do you remember how deep the hole was?
I remember it being significant because we were like, man, because he did it during the wintertime too.
Yeah,
so we're like, dude, that would take some time.
That would take a long time.
Yeah, but if you're committed,
we
talk about that in all of our true crime things. When you're committed to something and freaking out, you can do a lot of things.
Well, if you think you possibly killed a human being, I bet you got enough adrenaline. Between the 3 guys, they could have dug that hole.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, so let's do this.
Let's go right now.
Is Bigfoot a physical creature? Yay or nay for you?
Physical?
Yeah, like currently inhabiting on this earth right now, an inhabitant, just like you and I.
God, I'm so torn with this. I have to go by evidence by saying
you can do middle
dimensional creature.
Okay. Pamela.
Are we ending the show already?
Yeah, it's over.
No.
No, I'm just curious on this part. I didn't know
that because I saw that in your notes as being like one of the last. Or
no. First one was actual creature.
Okay.
Now I know he doesn't read my notes. Number 1, actual creature.
A lot of people claim to have seen something.
It's true.
Yeah. See, like I said, I'm torn between real creature and dimensional creature, only for the fact that, man, we would have caught one by now, right?
Yeah.
We would have bones, but do they really bury their dead?
I know,
have a Bigfoot funeral? Yeah. Bunch of
Dude, you find one of those and we're in business. If I get a video of a Bigfoot funeral or a wedding, I mean, if they're having funerals, they might have weddings too. That'd be kind of cool, a Bigfoot wedding.
Just think of the equipment we could buy for this show.
Yeah. Okay, so if Amber was listening to this, because she's mentioned this before, she would say possibly, I don't want to speak for her, but she would possibly say that this is some sort of alien. That's a theory out there.
That's what Patrick McClure just posted.
Okay.
Big feet could be alien.
Yeah.
Yes. But what would be the reasoning?
Go Patrick, because I've read there's a story about somebody seeing a bright light in the sky.
Okay.
And then the bright light disappearing, and then about 20 minutes later, a Bigfoot coming out of the forest.
Interesting.
So that's what kind of got my attention about maybe it is an alien, maybe it's, but aliens too, Patrick, could be I think those are dimensional beings because they're crashing into our dimension or coming into our dimension, and they're from a whole different dimension.
My thing though is like if they have the technology to crash into our dimension and to enter into our reality, then don't you think that they would have the ability to we'll get into this even a little bit deeper, but to not look like Bigfoot? Like what is like
the best thing in the world? I don't know if did you get the text I sent you? It's a picture of Bigfoot flying a UFO.
Dude, I was like looking at myself and I was like, I wish I had that.
I wish I had that shirt. Yeah,
me too.
It shows a picture of Bigfoot flying a UFO.
I loved it. Yeah. So okay, but let's go down that. Is it because this came up in the reincarnation episode about the purpose of reincarnation? We talk about it with all like the purpose of demons and angels and everything like that. Would the aliens be Bigfoot in order to keep the human race curious? To keep us creative and to keep, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that a strength that we have?
That's a great question.
And that's the only way I was able to wrap my head around it being an alien, because I was like, why the hell would you come back as a Bigfoot? Like, if you're an alien, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, why would you?
I know.
Like that's a less conspicuous form than an alien.
But maybe there's a dimension where that is the normal,
right?
That we're just big hairy creatures walking around.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
I'm under the impression that I feel like that it is actually a cross-dimensional. I don't want to say beast. I don't want to be disrespectful to the Bigfoots, to the big feet.
And they're usually friendly too.
Yeah. So, but I feel like it may be this creature that is in a different dimension that happens to slip in every now and then. Hence why they're probably always looking back like, oh shit. Like, like, gotta get back into my dimension or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. or maybe
either.
the people that are witnessing it are somehow sliding into that dimension. I don't know. That's the only way I can think that Bigfoot actually exists.
Yeah, I mean, well, me too. I agree with you on that.
I
mean,
like
for
the
a
alien
long
thing though.
For a long time, I did think it was just a creature that was very good at hiding. But it's
Right.
like after you think about so many sightings, especially what the Pacific Northwest
Right, a lot.
is where a lot. And,
Right.
But like I remember you saying one time that you were driving one time, you and Cass, and you looked over and got. I bet no one's ever been in that area.
Yeah, in Oklahoma. Yeah,
And
going
right,
down
just
towards
even in
Texas,
Oklahoma.
A really well traveled highway. And I was like, I guarantee you, no one's ever stepped out there. So no, that's what's fascinating about these things always though, is like we really don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what's at the depths of the ocean. We can't even get down there. What the hell?
Well, actually, that's something that came up in chat. Just less than 100 years ago, we didn't think a giant squid was a real possibility.
Right? Yeah.
And
for
now
sure.
we know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I saw. Did you see that one squid?
That's my next tattoo.
Oh my
Get a
God.
squid tattoo.
Pam, you were watching that with me, weren't you? It was it was an oil place, and they were going down because of some cable problems, and they saw this thing, and he said, "Oh well, there's the problem. I see the cables are hanging down." Well, it was some type of sea creature.
Ah!
Yeah, sea creature where it wasn't cables. It was just like
Tentacles.
the tentacles.
Yeah.
And they
Cool.
got it. It's absolutely
I'm
amazing because
fascinated by the sea.
and it's not fake. It's just a sea creature we've never seen.
Right. Yeah.
But this thing had tentacles that were just like probably 20,
Right.
30 feet long.
Yeah.
And they're just dangling.
See, I get that.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
yeah.
I get that
especially
argument. But the
there's
difference
probably so
is-
much stuff in
yeah.
the sea we have no idea.
Well, there are. Yeah. Well, but the thing about the Bigfoot is he's not at the depths of the ocean that we know. He or she, maybe he is.
well,
Has
they
this,
say they
like-
see UFOs coming out of the ocean. How
I
we know Bigfoot's
know.
not behind the wheel?
Damn it! Every corner I turn, there's an answer.
There's an answer.
All right, so hey, let's look at some of these. I had it down as famous and not so famous pictures of Bigfoot. You want to catch up on chat? Are there people?
I'm just
saying that?
I'm
Go
reading
for it.
chat while I'm not even listening to you.
That's fine. What are they saying?
Jennifer Swope says unicorns too.
I would love to see a unicorn.
Hey, Patricia Paranormal. I love that name. Welcome to the show. We are, you caught us on, we're not doing true crime today.
Dude, I would love to see a unicorn.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would too.
That'd be amazing.
That-
Jennifer, are you serious? Are you serious about the unicorns?
Are you serious, Clark? Eddie, I heard they saw some unicorns at the zoo. Are you serious, Clark?
Okay.
But back,
Is there
back
anything
to-
else? Okay, so next one I wanted to do,
If,
Keith.
Pam, you're doing your job. You got anything
Yeah.
interesting? Do you want to cut in?
Yeah, but you guys get on a roll, and it's just hard to slow you down.
I
Sorry.
know.
You're good.
Doug is a hunting expert. I yield to. Yeah, Doug. I mean, you were in Canada. I would think there's lots of Bigfoot sightings out there. And any of your time, and Doug's an experienced hunter. Did you ever see any tracks or anything like that? For instance. And I know we got a 15-second delay.
Hey, or even, did you see, like,
Pat McClure says, "Really fat unicorn, a rhino." I like that.
yes. Well done.
When we're
That was good, Patrick.
talking about Jim and bird dog and bugs
Oh yeah, my best friend.
dropping whatever they saw at
We hit him with
150
306 caliber,
yards.
going about 2,200 feet.
well, and that's
Loaded
Doug,
223.
Doug says he's dropped moose and bear both in his tracks with a 308.
So,
Yeah.
my question, though, is that, like, with your experience being out in the wilderness, I don't know if you go with, like, a group or by yourself, but do you feel like that Bigfoot being an inhabitant, like, of our Earth in places that you hunt, say in Canada, is something that's plausible?
Doug says, "I've never seen anything like that, unfortunately." Doug, I'm just curious, would you shoot it?
He posted earlier there is a bill in Oklahoma for a live catch Bigfoot season.
Oh, is it live catch?
Are you serious?
No, I was telling Pam about this before. It was funny because on Rick and Brad, they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And Brad was like, he's like, man, if this is like for attractions to get more people to come and like buy license, he's like, I get that. I get that. He's like, if we're going to get a cut on the taxes, I get that. He's like, why don't we just legalize weed? He's like, why do we have to be known as a state that issues licenses for catching Bigfoot?
Well, weed is legal here.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, we have legal marijuana, folks.
Yeah. So, but okay.
Guessing he means recreational.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have recreational yet, but that's probably going to come pretty. I bet within the next election.
I did tell you that supposedly there was a Bigfoot sighting in Tuttle, which is like 15 minutes from here.
Yeah.
I mean, on average, I think what I was reading is like there's around 200 to 230 sightings in every state, in almost every state. That's pretty significant.
But for what period of time? Every year?
I don't know. I need to look that up. But 234 in general. Say
That's
it's over the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Or 100 years. You know what I mean? I don't know how credible that is. But okay, so we went over the aliens.
Do you want to show any pictures yet?
Yeah, I want to show these pictures.
Yeah, let's show you some slides. And there's some that are just ridiculous, and then there's some that's
play a game called Real or Fake.
Yeah.
Real or fake?
If that's the wrong one. There we go. Okay, now this is one I've always been interested in. This is from Roger Patterson video, 1967. If you guys look up Roger Patterson,
that's baloney.
Yeah, I don't know. He has a video that he took of a Bigfoot walking along looks like a beach or something. I don't know, but
like a
riverbed or something like that. But you know what? I was going to play, I'm not going to do it, but I was going to play a video at the beginning where they talked about Roger's video, and they said that they had like scientists to look at it, and they said, well, you can actually see his pectoral muscle, you can see a tricep, you can see like there's actually muscle definition that you can see on this animal.
Oh, for sure. It looks put together.
If it would have been in a man in a suit, it would have just been like, flimsy and...
Yeah, possibly. What year was this?
1967.
You don't think in 1967 they could make something so realistic? Probably not. I mean, look at when was Star Wars made? What's that Chewbacca character?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, anything's. Don't get me wrong, anything's possible.
You would have to get
this
a
could
massive person, dude.
Yeah, this could be fake as can be, but it's been the most studied. Well, because it's probably the only.
Look at those legs.
Realistic video.
Dude.
I know. Look at those thighs on that thing.
He's looking right at him. He's like, God dang it, I'm in the wrong dimension again.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
He's thinking in his head right now. He's like, how do I cross back over? How do I go back over?
So I remember watching this as a kid. When I was like 9 or 10, I think is when I first saw it. Not back in 1967.
Right, I got it.
But after I was a teenager. But I was like, it's. I always thought it was real because like I said, these scientists came on and they go, well, if you look right here in a circle, you can see the exact muscle, blah blah blah, on there.
I mean, you can see it even from a distance, like what I'm looking at right now.
But now, what do you feel about this then? Because you seem to think you thought it was baloney.
Well, I did say
said baloney.
It was just a joke.
What do you think about this picture?
I mean, I think that it could be
real. And what
do
you guys in the chat think, yay or nay?
I think it could be real for sure, but I also think in 1967 we were innovative enough to find a way to recreate this. I don't think, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know, but then if
when did we land
then
on the
why
moon?
have the show? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, because I know, but it's important because when I look at it knowing that, I'm like, you know what though? Like those are some long arms.
Yeah.
Like that head is massive. Like that creature right there is huge.
Yep.
And to move so fluidly, it makes it believable.
And look at his glutes on that thing.
Dang, dude.
I mean, but yeah,
this is one of the more realistic. I would say this is one of the more realistic ones that I've seen.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm voting yes. I do believe this is a real Bigfoot.
Okay, I'll vote yes.
And only
I'll
because
vote yes on that.
And I know there people who study the Patterson case that there's a time when a guy came forward and he said, yeah, Roger had me to put the put this costume on. And,
really?
Yeah. And I did all this, but a lot of
again though, like he would have to. Okay, well,
he was looking for 15 minutes of fame, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they created that suit in 1967, it's really good because I wish I had a pointer, but you can see the glute, you can see.
No.
You can see, the definition.
Even the torso and the arms, it really does look like a gorilla.
Yeah.
In the head.
Mona says, "Where's digital DNA when you need it?" Yeah.
Seriously, Mona, can you create that?
All right, next picture. That's that's another Patterson picture.
See what I'm saying though? It's like he's on a mission.
Yeah. Okay. This could be an ink blob as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Let me see if I can make it a little bigger for you guys. Let's see. That's
what I thought too.
Yeah,
I wanted to show this because there's a reason.
Right.
Because it has to do with the human mind.
Yep.
In our way of believing in things.
Well, we have
walking downhill.
We have a thing called matrixing in our brain, so it tries to make sense or make a picture out of weird. Like that could actually just be a hole, in the.
That could be, it could be a stump with a shadow.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it could be a Bigfoot walking down a hill.
And it could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I say nay.
I say nay as well.
Pam?
Nay.
Hey, and that looks a little further. Now, this one got me so good.
Okay, yeah, Garrett was all excited about this one. Now, this looks like to me probably a trail cam.
Looks like a trail cam.
Okay.
Looks like a trail cam. The thing about that is I think he had, caught some bears, some little bear cubs around there.
Okay.
And then this thing walked out. And... obviously, naysayers are saying that this is a bear with mange. This is in Pennsylvania in 2015, maybe.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm telling you.
It almost looks like a chimpanzee.
That's what Cass said as well, which, I mean, dude, the levers on that thing, though, it could move. It looks like it's kind of humped over,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this one got me, though.
Okay, well, this would be like a baby Bigfoot, right?
Possibly.
Because it doesn't look, look how...
Yeah, definitely.
Compared to what we just saw, the Patterson film, and this looks like a cub.
And it seems like that they would be operating at night.
Yeah, they travel at night. That's what they. Well, that's what they say.
I think they call them Littlefoot.
Littlefoot.
But no, this one got me. I was like, okay, this is a little weird.
Yeah, I do believe it's an animal of some type. I don't think it's a guy in a costume.
I don't think it's a chimp in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Oh, in Pennsylvania, huh?
Yeah, and I don't think it's definitely not a person in a costume.
Okay.
I don't think.
No, it doesn't look like a costume. I don't. I got to say, I don't know.
Yeah,
what it is.
And a bear with mange. I don't.
Yeah.
Just kind of the build of it.
To me, it doesn't.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't look like a bear
at all.
The legs are too long.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, I say
possible.
Possible baby.
Definitely
I would say
possible.
Possible young Bigfoot. Right.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. I love this one, dude.
Okay, this is like Land of the Giants here. I had I guess this is a time I can tell my Bigfoot story. My dad, it was 1976. We were at my uncle's house and we were rabbit hunting, and by a stream we came across this huge foot, and it had 3 toes. Never saw any creature, just saw the print, and this looks way exaggerated. I mean, to most Bigfoot prints I've seen, and I don't know, I'm not a Bigfoot expert, but that looks awfully big.
Man, I'm telling you, we would see those everywhere, wouldn't we?
You would think. Has that got to you yet, Pam, that picture?
Yeah. My thing is also just how well. What is that? Is that in a rock? What is that?
That can't be rock. Then you're talking about a fossil.
Right.
Then I could maybe believe it's a dinosaur or something.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Well, for me too, the reason I say is because if that happened in mud.
But you're right. It does look like a rock.
It wouldn't
That's
be
weird.
Well, it could just be dried up riverbed or something. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't. That's just so well defined. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it be funny if back in the hundred cavemen go, hey, let's play joke on the
play joke on future population.
Yeah. 500 years from now, they'll think there's some type of creature.
Yeah.
They're all sitting around laughing. Yeah. Man, I have a hard time believing that's real.
Me too.
I really do. It's just way exaggerated. I mean, the Bigfoot feet I've seen, or the one even I saw, it was probably 60. I mean, Michael Jordan's foot's pretty big, and Barkley, Shaq, and all those guys. But yeah, the one I saw wasn't a human foot. There's 3 toes, but it was quite a bit bigger than the human foot, but nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
That looks. So I'm saying, nah. I don't think so.
That thing would be like 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
My God.
Or it's disproportioned.
Yeah. Which would,
How funny would that look if he's about this tall?
It would mean that like there would just be like if a Bigfoot was traveling, you would see it like ravaging over weeds and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that thing's not going to move through the forest lightly.
Okay, so my cuz says the ones I saw was bigger than my grandson's size 13 foot, but not this big. Yeah, I totally agree, Gina. Yeah, because I mean they are big, but that's like incredibly just. If there's something that big walking around,
That's a little over the top.
I'm with Bugs. We'll shoot it.
Yeah, get it.
Get it. Okay, this one's interesting too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Now this is more realistic.
Yeah. Except, I mean, it has a ton of toes. Well, hey, but didn't Bug say it had 6 toes? Because I remember asking, like, why did he count how many? He's like, well, let me count the toes.
Well, I bet you could tell. I mean, the difference between 6 toes and 5. I mean, probably just even looking at it.
Right.
You go, wow, this is a little bit wider foot.
That would have given me.
Well, it gives your foot and make your foot wider, right?
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
So, do we got 6 toes on this one?
I'm trying to count.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got 6.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then I think that's a 6th one, right by his index finger, is it not?
Yeah, you know that would make sense for evolution for something like that because
you would know.
Think of the balance you'd have.
Right, exactly.
And because of the weight you're carrying, you'd have an extra toe on that side.
It would be like a paddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like flappers.
So I would say
possibility for sure.
Strong possibility.
Yeah. And you can see where it's in dirt. There's a little grass down there, and so. But where's the other one? I wish that they had 2 of them.
Yeah.
That one's weird. Obviously, this is in snow. Dude, this picture sold for $5,000, the original.
You know, that's crazy. I should have took a picture of mine because it had 3 toes.
What's wrong with you?
Had 3 toes.
So is this
but
one?
This
That's
is
why
back,
I wanted to put this one in there.
You know, this is back in the 70s before cell phones. You didn't have,
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
And I would have went miles to my uncle's house to get the camera. But I just didn't think it was that. I mean, it was interesting, but my uncle didn't have a camera.
Was it about that size?
It's nice thick. It was pretty big.
It does.
Yeah, that's what the print I saw had 3 toes. And there, you hear the Bigfoots have 3 and 6, I guess 5 possibly.
So, yeah.
All right, here we go. Next one.
Yep.
Are we ready?
Yep. I love this one.
Okay.
You added this one.
Now,
I'm glad you did.
You'll see it in a minute, Pam. There was a man that claims he took a picture of a Bigfoot of its face. It should be popping up anytime for you there, Pammy.
Still waiting.
Okay. Anyway, this guy claims this is a real picture. But Garrett, we can sit here and laugh all day, but how do we know it's not?
I know.
That's the thing is we don't know.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, how do you think it looks like Joe Rogan?
My thing is because of the lips and the nose. Hey, my thing is this: it's like
lips and the nose.
Did he is Bigfoot out there? Is Bigfoot out there grooming his hair? That's what my.
Yeah, that reminds me of remember John Travolta and Saturday Night Fever? How perfectly combed back.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that guy. He's got a beauty operator somewhere.
Brush his hair.
Yeah. Okay. I will say, Garrett does have a point. That looks very groomed.
Super nice,
like
dude. I can't even groom my hair that good, and I own a shower.
Like Bigfoot carries a comb with him.
Oh my God.
But so anyway, this guy's claiming that's real. I'm gonna say no.
Right.
Because it could just be a mask. And you got a good point about the hair.
That's funny. Does he have sideburns? Are those sideburns right
it's
there?
Elvis.
No, really. Look right there. Is those sideburns coming down?
No.
Oh, I thought he had
No, look. Even if you're faking this, you wouldn't go, hey, let's put sideburns on this thing.
I think you need sideburns.
Yeah, you need sideburns. That's what's missing.
That look real cool.
Yeah. Everybody believe this now. Yeah, no, so I'm saying thumbs down.
No way, dude. This one's awesome. That's my favorite one, though.
But I like to keep an open mind. Yeah,
you have to.
But I'm saying, I don't think so. Okay. These pictures to me are just so hard. I mean, because from that far away,
Right.
it definitely could be a suit.
Well, why wouldn't you take a damn video?
Well, I think this is from a video.
Oh, so where's the video?
It's on YouTube somewhere.
Oh,
I told you I had no time.
I know, but I don't watch videos.
Why?
I just look at pictures and read.
Pictures and read. All I do.
All I do to prepare for Bigfoot episode.
Reminds me of that Saturday Night Live skit. I'm just caveman.
Caveman, yeah.
What was that, Pam? That was
Would you let Pam eat?
I'm just a caveman.
Yeah, who was the actor? I can't remember. He died.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Phil
right,
Hartman
right.
is amazing.
He was an attorney.
Your world
Dude, yeah.
flattens and confuses.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
But yeah, so I'm saying
no.
You got to say no on
You have to
these
say
because
no
they're
on
too
these.
far away. But there is a video of this thing out there. There's actually quite a lot of videos, more than I thought there'd be. But again, when you're that far away, man. But I can see if I'm videoing something like that. I don't know if I'd want to get that close to it if I saw something like that.
True.
If you're that far away, what Bigfoot's gonna come out and do a selfie?
That would be cool if he
That
did.
would be so cool. Whoa! Go back! Okay,
That
you
was
go back.
real.
You can go back. Yeah, that one's real. Yeah, you can go back to us.
Okay, let's go back to us.
Okay, so I'm glad we did those pictures. All right, is it okay if I tell 2 stories really fast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you gonna read them?
I have to. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to read these. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I hate this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to read. Okay. All right. These are just some stories because it's hard finding real stories out there. You think that
Shark Tank said it's Lou Pearlman.
So we think that finding facts about, the Zodiac was difficult, right? Because we always say the dates of things, and every case we do that's older, right? It's like you never know. Okay, try doing that for Bigfoot. Okay, here we go. try finding a story you believe. Okay.
Well, there's more stuff on Bigfoot than the Zodiac, though.
Exactly. That's kind of the problem. And so,
Hey, Pammy, shoot that, Pam.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Albert Ostman, a Swedish-Canadian logger, claimed he was kidnapped in a sleeping bag one night while prospecting. Just hear me out. Hear me out. So Bigfoot kidnapped him. Okay. In a sleeping bag while prospecting in the wilderness at the head of Toba Inlet in British Columbia. And this is just south of the Great Bear Rainforest in 1924. Ostman, unbelievable.
You're fired.
How do you do the can't do it without her, Keith? Okay, where was it? Okay. Osmond
Couldn't do it without her, Keith, and I wouldn't even try.
And I wouldn't try. So he alleged that after being picked up in his bag and dragged through the mountains for the most of the night, he was dropped in a clearing in a small valley where the light of the rising sun revealed a nuclear family of Bigfoots. A father, mother, son, and daughter, staring at him in the faint light of dawn. His otherwise curious and mostly benevolent host, chattering in an incomprehensible patois, kept him prisoner there for almost a week.
What's patois?
I have no idea. Osmond finally made a successful dash for freedom after poisoning the old man, is what he called him, by feeding him a can of chewing tobacco he happened to have in his sleeping bag. In 1957, Osmond came forward and relayed the incident to journalist John Green just before the humanoid tracks discovered in Bluff Creek. So just before the humanoid tracks in Bluff Creek in Northern California propelled Bigfoot into popular awareness. I was kidnapped by a Sasquatch, the title of Green's dead serious news story on Osmond encounter, appearing on the front of the page of Agassiz Harrison Advance, foreshadowed every chintzy supermarket tabloid headline to ever appear on the
story
subject.
has become tiresome.
Okay, so check this out. He's sitting there in 1924 up near the Canadian rainforest. Okay, and he's doing work for the logging company, and he is kidnapped in the middle of the night by something in his sleeping bag that just drags his ass through the forest, right? And
Could be a serial killer.
He's in his... No, he saw him. Okay, so all night this thing's just going through the freaking forest.
But see, you just made that noise. That guy could have made a crazy noise.
Exactly. Okay, so he drags him to this valley, and when he wakes up, it's a nuclear family of Bigfoots. Aww. And they're just staring at him, and they hold him prisoner for a week, and they just talk to each other until he feeds him chewing tobacco, right? The problem with this story, obviously, is
they all started throwing up.
this guy. Yeah. I would definitely be able to poison a Bigfoot. I have like 15 cans of Dev on me. No, so this guy, he really believed that this happened. This is a real story. When he went to the editor of the newspaper, there's the argument is that because of the title, which was, let me see where that title is. I was kidnapped by a Sasquatch. So he told the guy about it. Then the prints at Bluff Creek were found, which caused a huge sensation in America. And then his story came out, right? And so essentially it kind of got watered down, okay?
Okay.
Believe it or not believe it, we'll talk about that in a second.
We'll discuss.
Soon after Osman's tale came to light, another story also reported to have occurred in 1924 resurfaced to take its rightful place in Squatology's Annuals of Unforgettable. On July 13th, 1924, the Oregonian? Well, how would you say it? Oregonian. Thank you, Pamela. The Oregonian, a Portland Daily, reported that a group of 5 miners prospecting on the southeastern slopes of Mount St. Helens in Washington State had been attacked in their cabin by a group of mountain devils. That's what they call mountain devils. These mountain devils came out and got us.
Okay.
All 5 of us. The story later came to be known as the Ape Canyon Incident, named after the gorge where the attack took place and where gorilla-like creatures had been seen for as long as anyone could remember. Early Sasquatch investigators found and interviewed the last surviving member of the drama, Fred Beck, after digging up the old Oregonian article in the mid-1960s. Beck told them the assault on the cabin came in response to the prospectors firing on creatures that had been shadowing them in the woods for several days. The account of the cabin attack, which came in the dead of night and continued in unrelenting waves until daylight, is worthy of its own horror movie. The mob of ape men swarmed the outside of the cabin, banging on its doors and walls, stomping on the roof, pelting it with rocks, and reaching in with shaggy arms through gaps in the logs. Okay, so these ape-like creatures are completely attacking them. The terrified miners barely kept the creatures at bay, firing their rifles at the walls and sealing all night until the attack finally came to an end with the rising sun. The Oregonian reported that the miners were so upset by the incident of the night, they left the cabin without making breakfast. That's how upset they were. Like, you know what? I'm not making breakfast this morning. Okay. So the forest ranger who was assigned to that district and who claimed to have met the men as they were fleeing later told investigators in the 60s that he'd never seen grown men more frightened.
Huh. I wish I would have been listening to that.
Yeah.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No, just
Question from chat. Didn't the guy say he believed they wanted him as a mate for their daughter?
I don't remember that part of the story.
Okay, there you go, Jennifer.
Yeah, maybe that. I mean, somebody may have elaborated on it. The one I was reading about, it was incomprehensible chatter amongst the nuclear family.
Well, see, that goes back to the recordings of them talking to each other. It was weird like that.
Yeah.
I encourage you to listen to that.
I will,
at some
but
point.
okay, so
and our audience.
These 2 stories, though. Okay, these 2 stories. What year did they happen?
1924.
1924. Okay, one of them just south of the Canadian rainforest. One of them just south of Mount St. Helens. Okay, up in the northeast. I'm sorry, the northwest. What time did the attacks occur? At night.
I wasn't listening.
Okay, at night.
Okay.
So at night, the guy is kidnapped in the sleeping bag, drug across, and at night, these creatures had been following these 5 men who were miners and working in the area. And so at night, they started attacking their cabin, right? After they had fired upon them, okay?
Right.
So initially, they weren't really, maybe they were just going to kidnap them for maybe to be a mate. I don't know. That actually would make sense.
Why would they choose a human, though?
Well, to keep, I mean, is that...
So you don't have Bigfoot inbreeding.
So what?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
How do we know this isn't a bunch of hillbillies up in the mountains? They just never shave. You know, they go, hey, Paul, he looks real good.
God.
I'll get him for you, honey.
Yeah, you need that one. But no, I found it interesting that both of them happened in 1924, underreported, not brought up to the 60s, but were written about that in those years. Okay, so there's documentation of it, but from back then.
And you said the story's been passed down.
It was written in the Oregonian,
right?
Yeah, and then it resurfaced in the 60s when this huge craze come around, right? And so, but there were similarities in the attacks. So those were the 2 stories that I read about. There's there's a lot of stories out there where I was like, okay, like I could see that, I guess. But even a group of them, you would think around Mount St. Helens in the Northeast, we would have found bones or something like that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then we were supposed to go into the bug story, but we already did that because it's such a good story.
Oh yeah, I encourage you guys to take some time and look that up. Art Bell bugs Bigfoot. It's so good. It's so good, and the guy is so compelling. I mean, he seems like he's really upset that he killed this creature.
I know,
and he felt guilty about it. Either that or he's just a really good actor.
Yeah, but we said the same thing about Single 7.
Yeah.
Could have been just a really good actor. But like if you
Could
listen
be.
to the bugs thing though, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's
But I
believable.
just wish get the map and let's settle this thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because the bones are still going to be there.
Right.
Unless it's interdimensional.
Do you see what I'm saying though about the aliens?
Yeah.
Is that maybe because that was my only thing when we were talking about like could this be aliens coming down, is like why would you be a freaking Bigfoot? Like you know what I'm saying? I could understand it, but maybe it is, and I'll talk about it in a second. But maybe the goal would be to to keep us curious and to keep us searching for something. So if we did
makes
find
life interesting anyway.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if we found the bones though, do you think that would be depressing to a lot of people, or do you think it'd be exciting?
I think it'd be exciting.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
Because part of me feels like a lot of the excitement about Bigfoot is the thrill. Like as Americans, we're born to be free, right? We're like born to discover things and
curiosity.
And we're also imperialists. Like we like to take over place. So part of me feels like that this is just kind of one of those things that somebody started, and because we're Americans, we want to believe in it because it's something we can strive for.
And if they're interdimensional, if you think about it, and they come down here, they go back and going, watch out, these guys fucking shoot at you.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna be shooting at you.
These are crazy people.
Yeah. They got two of us.
No foul language.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
No foul language.
Yeah.
No bad language.
Sorry, Art. But yeah, that's it's very interesting. I mean,
Right.
like I said, I'm not saying there's not a Bigfoot. I have more of a belief of thinking it's a dimensional thing.
I know, I do too.
Because, like you said,
Yeah.
and I think you kind of helped me decide that because when we first, we did a show in November on it. I think
Yeah, a long time ago.
last November, and you made it sound like well, hey, why don't we have bones? Why don't we have more feces? Why don't we have
right, like credible evidence?
That's true because
Yeah.
if you had hundreds and hundreds of years of these creatures, someone's going to find
Thousands.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So bones are going to be
Right.
discovered.
Well, I think what I said to you over text the other night is, if we have a T-Rex that's in a museum, we should have a Bigfoot that's in a museum.
That's an awesome.
You know
point.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we
that's an
should
awesome point.
Definitely have a Bigfoot in a museum that we can all go look at and be like, oh my
But
god.
there's not a lot of archaeologists looking for that though. either.
Yeah, but
they're not digging.
Yeah, but at the same time, they do have sites, but sometimes archaeologists are called into places because people that are digging for things are finding something. They're like, oh shit, there's a pterodactyl in my backyard, and so you would think even that, like the amount of stuff we do inside the ground on Earth. That's why, like, the argument about we haven't found everything in the sea, to me, isn't compatible for the Bigfoot scenario.
Yeah.
Because what it takes to get to the bottom of the sea, they say, is harder than what it takes to get to the moon. Right. And so, I mean, you got to think about like pressure and just all the unknowns that we are still struggling to find out what are the depths of the ocean. To me, that's like not a compatible argument necessarily, although I love it because I love the deep sea. But yeah, I mean, that's just where I'm at. And so actually the last part I had for this was the facts.
Right.
Okay, so the show's over.
Okay. Good night.
There's no facts. No, okay, so let me, this is my ride, don't worry, okay. Most of it.
Okay.
Today, there's, no one has captured and or killed a Bigfoot.
Okay.
Okay, so mark that off. Also, no one has recovered and reconstructed a Bigfoot skeleton.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
Furthermore, we have no proof of where Bigfoot lives, what Bigfoot eats, the lifespan of Bigfoot, or how
That's the other thing I wondered about, because don't they say they eat berries and they're pretty much vegetarians, and we talked about that too. It's like, how the hell do they get the muscle that they do
Yeah.
without protein?
Right. So I don't know. Yeah.
Genetics.
Really damn good genetics. Hey, what if the U.S. military actually has a squad of Yetis
And what
And
is
they're
it?
using
What if
them
it's? What if it is
to create super soldiers?
a government for But they create them pretty peaceful though.
Yeah. They want them to be peaceful, man.
Yeah.
be nice to the humans.
What kind of berries are they eating?
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so so furthermore, we have no proof of where Bigfoot lives, what Bigfoot eats, the lifespan of Bigfoot, or how they've been able to evade capture and continue to live on. There is no proof of that, no habitation, nothing. Still, the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence either. And that's where you and I find each other a lot, is we're like, okay, but just because you don't have the proof of that means that it can still be possible.
Yep.
Right. And so wild animals don't exactly mug for photos. And in the planet's ever shrinking forest still regularly unpack surprises such as the Seola, an untamed cousin of the cow that was discovered by scientists in Vietnam in 1992. But the Seola did not have legions of amateurs hunting it with cameras. So, like, they found this distant cousin, right? The Seola of a cow. And that was in 1962. That thing's been living for a whole hell of a long time, probably in the jungles, right? And so, and it didn't have, to the point, but it didn't even have people hunting it down with cameras. So, therefore, you would think that we would have found a Bigfoot by now. In the last part here, to search for Bigfoot in the forest is to taste that freedom, okay, that we talked about earlier, right? On the trails, you become extra attuned to nature. The smell of scat, the sounds of breaking branches, the curious impression in the dirt. As long as there are wild places in America, Bigfoot remains a possibility that, to its most ardent opponents, cannot be disproved. So at the end of the day, everything we've talked about, the stupid pictures and the good pictures, we're back to square one, dude. We really don't know. I do think it's an interdimensional character, though. I just have to go with that.
I thought we were the king of we always solved everything by the end of the show.
That's the crazy thing about Bigfoot. You would think that, like, this would be the easiest thing to solve.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But we can't, dude.
I know.
We
can't. And it's like Ghost.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, it's a belief.
Yeah, it is. You got to believe it or you don't.
Right.
But I don't know. There's been so many sightings that there's got to be something to it. Because, hunters know the difference between bears and then whatever this creature is.
Definitely.
So, and these prints, and then you got to think about, like, if you're way, way out in the forest, who's going to go to the trouble of, like, well, let's put these tracks out
Right,
there?
yeah.
Unless it's, that was a dumb thing to say because it's like, well, it'd be the hunters who are out there who found them.
yeah.
Keith, wake up.
Yeah, wake up. Come on.
No, but I just think there's too many sightings. I think the creature's there. I think it's a dimensional creature because, like you said, we don't have bones, and that's my.
I'd be curious to see is the comparison of sightings of UFOs and sightings of Yetis. I wonder if that number is compatible.
I bet UFOs just bombard sightings of Bigfoot.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because we'll just put a search in for UFO,
true.
and then put a search in for Bigfoot.
Not a lot of people hanging out in the woods these days.
Right.
Most people are on their phones or just staring up at the sky.
But to connect the two, usually people see these things when they're out in the country.
Well, I would just be interested to see those numbers. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
No, I would be too. I was probably, but I bet there's more UFO sightings than.
I bet there are.
Wouldn't you say so, Pam?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What if it was exactly the same?
Do you think that's easier to believe than Bigfoot?
Yes.
Aliens, I do too.
Yes.
I do too.
Absolutely, dude.
Because there's been, actually really good photographs and video.
Like Little Dicky says, what are we, the anomaly? Are we the only ones in this
video?
Are we the only ones in this universe?
I know that video was so bizarre.
I know.
And then the brain that comes out.
Brain.
We're talking about.
Don't. In case I don't want kids I work with to watch it.
Okay, never mind.
But it is great.
It was.
He brings up a good point though.
No, absolutely, and I agreed with him. Remember,
I did too.
Yeah. Because Cass didn't think I watched the videos. Like I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I know you did. I know.
And even Pam watched it.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree with him as well. Yeah, aliens are definitely way more believable.
I do have a question though.
Yes.
If you're going on the theory that Bigfoot's a dimensional slider,
Right.
Yep.
That's a good way.
I
That's
love
cool.
sliders.
I love dimensional sliders.
That he's drifting
Crossing
back and
over,
forth,
yeah.
whatever. So are we assuming then that he just never dies here, or if one of them dies here, that somebody else slides through, grabs the carcass, and takes it back, or what?
Jeez.
I would think. Wow, that's a good question. I would think if it's a dimensional creature, I think it's here for a very short time. I mean, I don't mean days.
Yeah.
I mean maybe walking around for a couple hours and they're back.
Yeah.
So lower potential of death for
Right.
them to,
Yeah.
and
Unless
reason,
they run into Bird Dog and
unless they run into Bird Dog and Jim
Yep.
and Bugs.
And bugs get you.
Yeah, those guys will get you. But yeah, that's what I think. I think dimensional, just like UFOs. I mean, they're not there for days and days. You spot a UFO and you may never see one again.
Right.
I think that's if they're a dimensional creature. I think that's how it is. They're here for maybe a few hours and boom, they're gone.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, maybe those two that were caught by shot to death.
Yeah.
And is there any way we can get that map? That's all in my mind.
I know, dude.
Do we think maybe the government actually has one somewhere?
Possibility.
We've got the whole Area 51.
Sure.
We're keeping the UFOs
Yeah, it'd be-
body.
So I was saying earlier when you brought up like why would, or Keith asked you why would Sasquatch mate with a human? Like for me, what it made me think of is like, hey, what if we could
Yeah.
extract that DNA and create a super soldier?
Something Hitler would do.
I mean, hey, why are we holding on to UFOs? We're in a race. We know that if we can reverse engineer their technology, it could be the same.
And
it falls in the same category.
Have you guys heard also that I heard that there's some states that there's actually, I don't know if it's a law or what it is, but it's illegal to shoot a Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice, though.
So yeah. I mean, you don't want to kill I wouldn't want to kill it. It would be even sad capturing something and keeping it. But
I know.
But if it was,
Man, can you imagine in like 20 years if we're walking through the zoo and we're like, oh look, there's the zebras and look at that giraffe eating, and then we're like, oh look, there's the Bigfoot crawling out of his cave.
because at some point in time,
That would be
no one ever
terrible.
saw a zebra, and they're like, what the hell's that?
Oh God!
Yeah,
This is zebra
kill
thing.
it.
Yeah.
And that's our humans'
know.
instincts are.
I know.
If we don't know what it is, we kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I don't know. I mean, that does beg the question, though. Like, if, it always goes back to motive. There would be a motive for the government to have one of these creatures that is elusive.
But don't you
Maybe
think that
has
they would?
skills that we could learn from?
But don't you think they would announce that though? Because I mean, if it is a peaceful creature, and they say, hey, we did find a species. They do exist. They're hard to find.
No, because if 6,000 people,
What would you do with it if you were the government, though?
I'm just saying, what if the government's motive was to, hey, let's keep like 11% of the population looking for Bigfoot, okay? So they're not thinking about what we're doing.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Distraction.
Yeah.
No, I mean it is a possibility, I guess. I mean, we can't rule that out, obviously. The randomness of it always gets me too, though. Like the fact that it's here, it's there, it's in, and it's nothing real consistent. So I don't know. I like what you're saying. I like the question you brought up though about it being a cross-dimensional character and what happens if it dies over here.
Well,
I think it just dies.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, obviously, we're looking at something that is supposedly much more primitive than what we perceive aliens to be.
Right.
But at the same time, we have people that have found flying saucers or,
Right.
been in flying saucers or, interact with aliens or whatever. Supposedly our government has this whole Area 51 shebang going on. I mean, to me, it's just not inconceivable that there could be somewhere, a study facility, underground bunker, whatever, where they maybe have one or two of these guys and they're studying them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I love to think that.
I don't know.
Actually, no.
I don't know.
I say that because you know how I am. I'm like, oh, that would be super cool.
I'll ask my
But-
colonel buddy. In Air Force.
You do that. Well, but my thing is like,
He
that would
won't tell
also-
me
That would
anything,
also be
though.
really sad though
What's that?
to think of these little these big creatures, these big nuts creatures, just being held in a bunker and studied.
Yeah, that
That's
would
sad.
make me sad too.
I like.
Because
I
Well, that's not any worse than shooting them in the head.
yeah, true, right in the face.
Because there's not been any historic or history type of stories where someone actually was attacked by a Bigfoot.
Right.
I mean, well, there's been a couple, but it's like, well, I guess
I
being dragged in a sleeping bag.
I think that's perception, though. I think that's perception. I think
he just wants to play.
Yeah, I mean, it could
maybe,
be. Yeah,
maybe. You know,
what's the whole?
Maybe he thinks it's a pet.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's bringing it back to the family.
Yeah.
Look, I bought us a puppy.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Right.
What's the
perception.
whole stick knocking on the? Did you look that up?
No. What?
God dang it, Garrett!
Dude, I did the best I could. I thought I put together a
I
pretty
know
damn good show.
you did actually. You did very good.
Thank you. What's the stick knocking?
No, yeah, that's how Bigfoots communicate. They have a big stick and they hit it on trees like, and then they wait to hear another one. So when you look at the YouTube videos, a lot of the Bigfoot hunters, and you remember Pam, mountain monsters, knock on that tree, Wild Bill. You know, yeah, they take it wood, they hit it, and then sometimes you will hear knocks on trees like they're answering back to you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about, the fact that essentially right now, like chimpanzees are in the Stone Age period of like where we were mentally in the Stone Age period. We've talked about, I think maybe on here, the picture of the orangutan that's hanging from the tree with the spear that he made. Have you seen that?
That's crazy.
So, I mean...
the evolution of, they
like
saw a man hunting with a spear, now you've got them doing the same thing.
Well, yeah, and knowing like a deliberate sound, right? And so, yeah, that's interesting.
That is interesting. Well, do we got anything interesting in the chat room? I know we do.
Has it been going? Have people been actually communicating?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Please leave comments and subscribe if you haven't, but I love the comments.
And hit the likes too. Supposedly the likes somehow help us. So.
Awesome. Well, I like my favorite part is
share.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part is the comments because I like to hear what people are actually thinking about this topic so that we can maybe revisit it or think about it in a different way.
Right.
And
if we don't get especially like last week and probably even this show, Garrett will probably have to. And he does really well in the comments, and usually I try to, but with this big move that Pam and I are doing, it's going to take a lot of time. So I don't know if I'll be able to get to the comments.
I got you
right away.
Yeah.
So I'll let Garrett handle that.
I'll do my
best.
best.
If there's anything, the next show.
What?
Oh, go ahead. What's that mean? End the show?
No, that means let's not talk about the subject we previously discussed because I just came up with an alternative idea.
For what?
The next show.
Okay, well, I do want to do...
It's a meeting.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a meeting after this. But I do want to do a show. It's almost cliche, but the JFK assassination. Because there's been some new evidence.
Really?
You have to bring Dylan in for that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's about, they released 20 million documents, right?
It's not that many.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
But there's actually, when there's more, President Trump at the time was President Trump tried to get the rest of them released.
Right.
And he said through his whole campaign, I'm going to get those.
Yeah.
And the CIA obviously got to him, and he actually said, I talked with the CIA. There's some national security issues that we can't allow it. And I think I know what those are now, why they can't release it.
Cool.
There's a guy who did it's called Tracking Oswald, and I totally believe it, and it all makes sense. That he was a single shooter. There wasn't anybody in a grassy knoll, but he did have accomplices.
Right.
And it's very, very interesting, and it makes sense. We're talking that if they did, I'll tease them a little bit with this.
You gotta go for it.
If they did release some of these documents, it could provoke retaliation on a certain country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, when was that video that you're talking about? Tracking Oswald?
2017.
I think I've seen that. I think I know what you're talking about.
It's 6 episodes, and we're going to go over that
I love
when we do the show. And that may be a couple shows, but my gosh, it made, I was one of those guys at first. I thought, it's conspiracy. There was a grassy knoll shooter. And then when I got my 30s, I started looking at it really hard, and I thought, Oswald just was a nut bar, and he did this himself. Now, I have a Mannlicher Carcano, the same gun that he shot Kennedy with. My boy can pull off 3 shots with it and hit a target. I've done, God, it sounds so horrible, but I've done 2 or 3 headshots with it. It's not a bad rifle.
Right, yeah.
Once you get used to knowing how to use it, it's not a bad rifle. I mean, it wouldn't be the one I'd use if I was going to assassinate somebody, but
I think it would
you
be,
use what you got.
Yeah, and I think it'll be neat because, like, I remember my dad saying, telling the story over and over again growing up about, having to get checked out of school and going home. And because we're Catholic, so that was like the first Catholic, but that was a big deal,
Yeah, so one of the things
cool.
I want to dismiss is you got so many, to this day, I hear this all the time and it just drives me insane. There's no way he could have done 3 shots in 6, 7 seconds. Well, the video too, they're not accounting for really the first shot missed. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking more about 8 to 11 seconds. Yeah. Which was very doable. Dylan can knock off 3 shots with that bolt action probably in about 6, 7 seconds.
What about the very start of Full Metal Jacket when they're in boot camp and he's talking about have you seen that part? He's talking about the Marine trained, Henry or Oswald, whatever his name was. Yeah. Like he can do it. And I'm gonna teach you how to do it too.
Yeah,
kind of thing, And
that's another thing that they always talk about. He was a bad shot. He actually had a marksman. He qualified as a marksman. His people have documents of his shooting scores. They were very good.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it could be. And I don't know how many people have been to Dealey Plaza and look out.
I saw someone get stabbed there.
I looked really.
When I was there, dude, I saw a knife fight and someone got stabbed. Yeah,
outside of it.
I was like 10 years old. Yes, it was terrifying.
That's insane. That's insane.
God. But the place is cool. Sorry to go off topic, but yeah.
No, but if you look out that window, I guess camera lenses does something too because it always makes it look like it's really far away.
Yeah.
But when you're looking from that 6th floor window, it's like okay, yeah. Even Joe Rogan goes, I could have did it with a bow and arrow.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's not that far, and it's actually doable. But the whole. We'll get into it when we get into it.
That's gonna be fascinating. That's gonna be cool. I like that.
I'm looking forward to that show. That's something I've been interested in since I was a kid, and I went through so many different phases of, like I said, I thought it was conspiracy. I thought there was a grassy knoll shooter. Then later, I saw actually someone. They talk about the magic bullet, and people like, well, there's no way that one bullet could have did all that damage, and these guys recreated it with a gelatin dummy, that kind of thing, and it had, the thing that they were messing up is they had Kennedy and Conley at the same height. And they said, well, the bullet would have the zigzag, but actually he was in a jump seat. So he was like this. So when you go downward, right through his neck, possibly. So they recreated that shot and it was insane. It went exactly, took the same path. It went through the neck of the dummy. It went through the shoulder of the dummy in front of it, through the wrist, and into the thigh. And then the bullet pops out spinning. Right. And they picked up the bullet and it was a little deformed, but it wasn't like, mangled like everybody go, oh, well, that bullet would have been just shredded. Yeah. Because it went through a lot of soft tissue.
Right, definitely.
So but there's people just telling me,
no, Doug says that we all agree Bigfoot killed JFK.
Yeah. Well, that was my secret. Okay, well, never mind that.
I guess we'll do the show then. Thanks a lot, Doug. That's fascinating. Hey, that's going to be a great show, dude.
No, that'll be a good show because it's like there's some very compelling stuff that I did not. This guy, I guess they put all 20 million documents in his computer. So anything they wanted, they said Oswald in Russia, and they type it in, and every document popped up. And so they went to Russia. They went all over the world, or Mexico City, where he went as well. And they started tracking every step this guy took. Right. And they found some pretty cool stuff. Right, yeah. That was like, wow.
That's cool.
So I can't wait, dude. I can see a reason why the CIA would cover it up, and especially them, because they were so. Johnson wanted the Warren Commission go get this done fast as possible, make it look like Oswald did it, because I don't want a nuclear war on my watch.
Right, yeah, definitely.
So they did, even if they would have found out Russia or Cuba or whoever had anything to do with it, they wouldn't have admitted to it.
Right, yeah,
because they did not want a nuclear war. We were the Cold War, we went through, the Bay of Pigs, and then we had, Russia was bringing missiles to Cuba, and we stopped that. Jeez, we were on the, that close.
I know.
That close.
Doing drills, get under your desk.
Yeah. That's that crazy, close to actually being in a nuclear war. But they're, they wanted to make it like, hey, Oswald's by himself. He did it. Let's get over.
Yep. It's going to be fascinating. I can't wait for that.
That'll be a fun show. All right, everybody.
Hey, wait.
What?
Go through the last 3 slides. Okay. Hey, top three Sasquatch Bigfoot movies to date. Hey, we'll leave it there. Dude,
Wait, I'm on the wrong one.
The Junk in the Trunk. I know. I wanted to do.
Okay.
Okay. Harriet and the Hendersons for sure. John Lithgow.
Yep.
I mean, dude, that's a classic. Hey, for anybody that hasn't seen Pottersville, I believe it's on Netflix. I mean, Michael Shannon's the man, dude. There's so many people in that movie.
What's it about? Exactly.
It's about a guy that's trying to get back with his wife who's cheating on him. And so he finds this gorilla suit when he's wasted and walks through the woods and becomes a sensation. And his story starts to do better. And then that's all I'm going to say.
I like it.
Okay, next. And final. The man who killed Hitler and then Bigfoot.
There's Pam's boy right there.
Dude.
Sam Elliott.
Love me some Sam.
He is the man. Hey, that's actually a really good movie.
Yeah, I remember you brought that up when we did the original Bigfoot show.
Yeah, that's a really interesting take on Bigfoot and where he's at. Actually, I know this is not going to be a spoiler alert, but they actually do find him in Canada, like near the rainforest.
Oh, really?
That's kind of funny, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Hey, that's all I got on Bigfoot, man.
All right, guys.
Good show. That was another good show, Keith.
Yeah, it was.
Well done.
It was. I was gonna lock myself in the bathroom, but
you need to go lock yourself in the bathroom for a couple hours.
No, it's just like, oh my god, I didn't have time to do. And Garrett, again, thank you so much.
No, dude, absolutely.
He probably we're gonna have a meeting after this to let you know what the second show or next show is gonna be.
Yep.
I guess Pam has an idea.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. So
we love
anyway,
you guys.
we're okay. So some people were asking, why do you guys keep switching your days? It's making me confused.
Tuesday. Hey, I can do Tuesday forever now.
Okay, so we're gonna do for now
guys,
on.
I got booked up on Wednesday and Thursdays
He
for the next
says
year.
that in about 4 months ago. I can't do Tuesdays
Nope,
anymore.
swear. That's it. I already said Tuesdays
so
off limits.
we hope Tuesdays will be good for everybody because
Sorry,
that's
guys,
what
that was
we're
my
planning
fault.
on.
Yeah.
So hopefully next show will be at the new studio.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
Hopefully, if we get, we got to get the Pam. You got to call the utilities, internet, all that. So we got to get that done.
Okay, guys, we'll talk about it off air. Jesus.
All right.
Hey, go back live so we can wave at everybody.
Do what?
We gotta wave at everybody.
Oh.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Good show, man. That was fun.